Are you the only one eating plant-based in your social circle and you're worried about starving at that next holiday gathering? Maybe this is your first holiday season as a plant-based eater and you're not quite sure how to navigate it. Will others be supportive or make comments? And what will I eat? If you're worried about the holidays, I don't want you to be because I'm here to help. In this episode, I want to give you some top pro tips to help you thrive, not just survive this holiday season. I want to show you that plant-based eating can still be possible, enjoyable, and doable, even around the holidays. Sounds good? Let's get started. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. First, a review spotlight. On today's episode, I want to give a shout out and thanks to Mama Cabinet, who wrote, "Looking to change things up on your plate? This is for you. This is a great podcast for those who are looking to change up their diet with more vegetables and other foods groups other than meat. I like all the info she gives about what are good alternatives to meat. Sometimes I don't want meat to be a huge portion of my meals, but I do want that protein, and she shows what are good sources of that. Great stuff." Thank you so much for taking a moment to leave a rating and review on the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm encouraged to know that this podcast is helping both those who are in transition to a plant-based diet and those who are looking to eat more plant-powered by integrating more whole plant-based foods into their existing meals. And yes, there are many great plant-based protein-rich sources within the whole food plant-based world. Has this podcast also been benefiting you in your health journey? If so, would you take a moment to tell me? I would love to hear about it. Please go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes to leave me a rating and written review. It will only take 30 seconds to a minute of your time, but will help this podcast reach so many more who need support on their plant-based diet journeys. If you have an Apple device, find the Apple Podcast app icon. It's a purple square with white circles. Open it, then search for Plant-Based Eating Made Easy. Then, once there, scroll all the way down past the 5-star symbols and click on Write a Review. Leave a star rating, write your review, it doesn't have to be long, then click Send or Submit. That's it. You can pause me right now to do it. Thank you for taking a moment to do so. Now let's get into today's topic. If you've just recently started plant-based eating, here's what you may be facing. You may be the only one, at least for now, in your social circle who made this change, and the people around you may not fully understand why this lifestyle change is important to you. And honestly, there will likely not be many plant-based dishes provided at social gatherings. And that's reality. I remember speaking to a client recently who shared that when she went on a car trip to visit family in another state, it was difficult to eat plant-based because there was family around and no one knew she had started a plant-based diet. Is that your situation too? So that's why if you're just starting a plant-based diet, it may be a little bit more challenging this holiday season because people are not so aware yet of the change you've made in your eating and dietary habits and may not be so supportive of it at first. But I want to encourage you that it will get better over time as you grow and develop more confidence in plant-based eating and the people around you become more aware that this is how you're eating now, and possibly grow more supportive of it as they see the benefits you're reaping from this new plant-powered lifestyle. So that's why I want to take a moment to address this transition challenge on today's episode, especially since we're in the season of many holiday celebrations now, with Thanksgiving and now Christmas around the corner. So if it's your first holiday season as a plant-based eater, I really hope these pro tips will be super helpful to you and give you the confidence you need to navigate your upcoming social gatherings with more ease and less stress. In general, eating out when you're on a whole food plant-based diet, especially a no-oil whole food plant-based diet, can be more challenging. At home, you can enjoy all the whole plant-based foods you desire and make them how you like. But when you go outside, it's different. You're then somehow restricted by what a restaurant has to offer, or if you go to a friend's house as a guest, it becomes more difficult because you may not know what will be offered. You may feel like you don't want to impose or cause more stress to the host who's preparing for the social meal gathering. Feel the tension? I've experienced this firsthand myself when eating out at restaurants, at relatives' or friends' homes, at social potlucks, and when on holiday. And that's why when I read posts like this one, I can totally relate. This person wrote, "My husband and I started this diet about 2.5 months ago. The key thing we struggle with is eating out when you're occasionally at a celebration meal with a crowd, as well as eating out on holidays abroad." So that's what we're going to tackle today, how to navigate your upcoming social gathering while in transition in plant-based eating, so you can have more confidence and less hunger and stress going into it. Now first, I want you to know that despite the title of this episode, these tips are definitely applicable throughout the year, holiday season or not. Just think birthday parties, church potlucks, weddings, anniversaries, graduations, picnics, and more. Also, in today's episode, given the time constraints, I'm only able to highlight 3 pro tips for managing social eating situations. But know that there are actually many strategies and resources available that can be used to make eating out and social events that much more enjoyable if you are on a plant-based diet or transitioning into this lifestyle. I actually include many of these strategies in my online Plant Power Life Transformation course. So eating out with others can be enjoyable with minimum stress and anxiety. Let's have a look now at 3 pro tips for managing social gatherings when you're in transition as a plant-based eater. Tip number 1. Eat a plant-powered snack or small meal beforehand. Now there are 3 big benefits to doing this. First, if there really aren't many plant-based options offered at the event, you're less likely to leave super disappointed or utterly hungry. Second, when you're starving and there aren't many plant-based options available, you may be more likely to succumb to eating certain foods at the event that you in fact did not really want to and may later regret. It's like going to the grocery store when you haven't had a meal and you feel super hungry. You'll be more likely to buy and pick up items that you didn't really intend and wasn't on your shopping list. Anyone had that experience before? I know I have. And number 3, if there aren't many plant-based options available, you'll be able to last longer through the evening socializing with others with light snacking until you can get home and eat more. So as you can see, this is one of the best ways to adapt to the situation at hand and prevent intense cravings or hunger at your next holiday event, at least until those in your circle become more adapting and accommodating to your changed lifestyle. So here are some examples of what a plant-powered snack or small meal could look like. For example, it could be a salad with a portion of a cooked whole grain and beans, a hummus and bell pepper tortilla wrap, a small bean and rice burrito, a quick quesadilla, or a nut or seed butter and banana sandwich on whole wheat bread. Tip number 2. Bring a plant-based dish to share, but be sure to make extra. This works great if the event is a potluck or if the host is happy for you to bring a dish along. The advantage of this is obvious. By doing so, you're guaranteed at least one item you can enjoy that is for sure plant-based, even if there are no other plant-based options available on the table. This will definitely lessen your worry and anxiety about having nothing to eat at the event. Doing this also takes the pressure off the host to provide something suitable and makes the social gathering more enjoyable. But besides having your own food taken care of, there's another benefit too. Others will get a chance to try something new that's plant-based if they want, and they may even ask you about it or request a recipe for it. This has happened to me at holiday potlucks before. So see this as an opportunity to bring knowledge and health to the table, and giving others the chance to try a taste if they want to. Here are a couple of ideas that you could bring. Again, out of many. If you're not comfortable cooking, then you can bring a no-cook item, like store-bought hummus and cut-up vegetables and whole grain bread to act as a filling snack, or a salad or a cut-up fruit tray. For those who feel comfortable making food, you can bring a main as a vegan lasagna, a chickpea meatloaf, or even lentil shepherd's pie. Some tasty side ideas could be a kale mushroom bruschetta or a tangy cinnamon sweet potato bake. Now on to the third pro tip, BYOM, or bring your own meal. What do I mean? I mean literally meal prepping and packing yourself a meal box with assorted items to bring with you to the event. That way you won't even have to worry about what's there and if you will starve. I've known a family that even packs a to-go meal for each member of the family, including the children, to bring to a holiday gathering. Is that weird? Sure, it may feel weird at first and to others, but over time people may just get used to it, especially if you do it yearly. The benefits? You'll just enjoy your prepared meal while chatting with others and can make sure you've brought enough to feel full and satisfied. Then get on to enjoying the company of others and playing games or other social activities. Problem solved. So today we dived into 3 top tips to help you successfully navigate upcoming social gatherings. Tip number 1 is to eat a plant-powered snack or small meal beforehand. Tip number 2 is to bring a plant-based dish to share, but be sure to make extra. And tip number 3 is BYOM, or bring your own meal. You don't have to use all 3 of these strategies, of course. Just pick one of them to try out at your next social gathering. And that's the best part about these strategies too. You can also use them at other times of the year. So here's the action step to take. Pick one of these tips shared in today's episode and try it out at your next upcoming social gathering. Then come connect in my free Facebook group, Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success, and let us know how it went. Let's face it, as human beings, we are social creatures, so social gatherings are a fact of life. Just think staff parties, end-of-year work gatherings, baby showers, retirement parties, park picnics, weddings, and the like. So we're going to have to deal with social gatherings pretty much all throughout the year. So I can understand how stressful and anxiety-producing social eating can be, and what a stumbling block this can be, especially if you are new to a plant-based diet lifestyle. But I don't want you to just avoid eating out with others, because eating with others is important. That's why, because social eating is so important a topic and there's so much to say on it, I've devoted a whole lesson to it in my online Plant Power Life Transformation course to support my students. This lesson is called Social Eating Success Tips and forms one of the 5 transition success keys I cover within the course. That's because I want you to have success and confidence year-round when eating out or at social events, whether it is with friends or loved ones, holiday season or not. So if you're looking to build a strong foundation in this new lifestyle and master the basics of plant-based eating, I invite you to check out the Plant Power Life Transformation course. This 6-module online course gives you a lot more social eating tips, along with easy-to-make, nutrient-packed whole food plant-based recipes, money-saving produce stretching hacks, and time-saving meal planning, cooking, and prepping tips. Go to plantnourish.com/PPLT course to find out more details. I want you to enjoy a simpler, more straightforward, stress-free way to transition to plant-based eating. Thank you for listening to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. If this podcast has helped you, please rate and leave a written review on the Apple Podcast app or iTunes to let me know. Nothing will lift me up more than to read your review and see how this podcast has made a difference in your life. I also pick reviews to read on this show, so your review could be one of them. Come connect with me in my free Facebook community group, Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success. Just go to bit.ly/PB Diet Success. That's bit.ly/PB Diet Success. You can also subscribe and follow this podcast to get notified when a new episode goes live. Signing off now, this is Anna, and I wish you the best health always.